Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you like. Sami was a curious 10-year-old boy who loved books more than anything. When he was unbusy hanging upside down from monkey bars at school or racing his bike around the neighborhood, he could be found curled up in a comfy chair with a good tale. He especially loved books about pirates, dragons, and mysteries. Every Wednesday after school, he would spend his afternoon in the town's old municipal library. For Sami, the library was more than just a building full of books. It was a portal to faraway lands and exciting adventures. The shelves seemed to whisper forgotten stories, and the musty smell of old paper made his heart sing. One particularly rainy day, Sami was wandering through the dustiest section of the library. He noticed a strange crack behind a tall bookshelf. Curiosity piqued. He pushed aside a few heavy books, revealing a small wooden door covered in mysterious glowing symbols that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly light. Hesitantly, he reached out and slowly pushed the door open. It creaked ominously and revealed a spiral staircase leading down into the dark unknown. Taking a deep breath, Sami gripped the flashlight on his backpack and started down the stairs. As he descended, the air grew colder, and the flickering light from his flashlight revealed strange symbols carved into the stone walls. Each step echoed in the silence, making the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. Finally, the stairs opened up into a vast, circular room. Floating in the center were countless books, glowing gently in midair and whispering secrets only they knew. An eerie silence hung in the room, broken only by the soft glow of the books. In the center of the room stood an ancient table, and on it rested a large closed book bound in golden chains that seemed to writhe like living serpents. Drawn to it like a moth to a flame, Sami cautiously approached the table. Soon as he touched the book, the chains vanished into shimmering dust. And in that instant, the book opened by itself, and from its pages escaped a swirl of blue mist that enveloped Sami in its ethereal embrace. The world around him dissolved into a dizzying kaleidoscope of colors and shapes, and when his vision cleared, he found himself in a completely different place. He was standing on the deck of a ship, the salty wind whipping through his hair and the sound of crashing waves filling his ears. Sailors scurried around him, their voices hoarse with urgency. Lightning cracked overhead, illuminating a menacing dark shape looming in the distance. "Prepare to defend the ship," a gruff voice bellowed. "They're attacking." Sami's heart pounded in his chest as he watched cannons blaze and smoke billowing into the air. Cannon fire roared, shaking the very foundation of the ship. And suddenly, overwhelmed by the chaos, Sami was swept away into another world. He blinked in surprise and realized he was in a place straight out of one of his favorite storybooks. Towering trees with leaves of emerald and sapphire reached up to form a canopy overhead, filtering the sunlight into dancing shards of color. Between the trees, Sami could see magnificent creatures, unlike any he had ever seen before. Majestic dragons soared through the sky, their scales shimmering in every color imaginable. Tiny winged elves with gossamer wings flitted among the branches, their laughter echoing through the ancient trees. Sami couldn't help but smile. The magical forest was even more enchanting in person. As he ventured deeper into its embrace, he heard a clearing and turned to find himself face to face with a small yet regal dragon whose scales shone like burnished gold. Its eyes, wise and ancient, regarded him with a knowing gaze. "Welcome, traveler." The dragon spoke in a voice that rumbled like distant thunder. "To pass further, you must solve my riddle. What has no voice but can still speak to you, has no body but can touch your soul?" Sami pondered the riddle, racking his brain for an answer. The dragon regarded him patiently, allowing him time to think. Finally, Sami took a deep breath and said, "Is it a story?" The dragon's eyes widened in surprise, and it let out a low whistle. "Well done," it said. "You have answered correctly." With a flourish, the dragon waved its tail, and the forest around them shimmered and dissolved into thin air. In a blink, Sami found himself transported to another place. This one was like nothing he had ever imagined before. Majestic towers that scraped the sky pierced the clouds, connected by winding bridges that arched gracefully overhead. Within the structure, hundreds of children were engaged in all sorts of activities. Some were engrossed in books, their faces illuminated by the magical glow of the pages. Others were practicing spells, their voices echoing with the power of their enchantments. As Sami marveled at the wonder of it all, he felt a gentle tap on his shoulder. Turning around, he found himself face to face with one of the children. She had flowing locks of fiery red hair, and her eyes sparkled with mischief. "Hello?" she said with a wide grin. "Welcome to the School of Enchantments." Before Sami could reply, a group of children swooped down from above, their faces painted with elaborate war paint and brandishing wooden swords and shields emblazoned with arcane symbols. "Prepare to be defeated," one of them shouted, brandishing a wooden sword. Sami stumbled back, caught off guard by their sudden appearance. But before he could formulate a response, the playful warrior lunged forward. Sami instinctively raised his arms to defend himself, and in that moment, a jolt of energy surged through his body. Startled, he looked down at his hands and gasped. They were glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Sami's eyes widened in amazement as he realized what was happening. These weren't just ordinary children. They were book children born from the pages of enchanted books who came to life with the power of imagination and stories. And this incredible school was where they learned to hone their abilities and explore the boundless realms of magic. Sami had stumbled upon a place where stories weren't just told, they were lived, where imagination wasn't just a dream, it was a reality. And as he stood there watching the book children wield their magical powers, he knew he had entered a world where anything was possible. Days turned into weeks, and Sami thrived in this enchanting environment. Under the guidance of the wise headmaster, he delved deeper into the mysteries of the School of Enchantments. He learned that each book child possessed unique abilities based on the stories from which they originated. Some could heal with a touch, while others could command the elements. There was even a mischievous, impish creature who could bend light and shadows to his will. Sami discovered that he, too, had a special gift. He could draw power from the emotions evoked by stories, using them to enhance his own abilities. With his newfound powers, Sami joined the book children on their adventures. They explored enchanted forests where trees whispered secrets, sailed on moonlit seas, battled fearsome creatures, and uncovered long-lost treasures. Through it all, Sami formed deep bonds with the book children. He learned the importance of friendship, courage, and the power of believing in yourself. Yet as time passed, a longing for his own world began to tug at his heart. He missed his family, his friends, and the familiar sights and sounds of his everyday life. One evening, as the book children gathered around a crackling bonfire sharing stories and laughter, Sami finally confided in them about his desire to return home. The book children listened with empathy and understanding. They knew that while their world was magical, Sami's world was his true home. The headmaster, with his gentle wisdom, guided Sami in preparing for his departure. "I taught him how to carry a piece of the magic with him, how to keep the wonder alive in his heart, and how to share the stories that had touched his soul." With a heavy heart, Sami bid farewell to his new friends, promising to never forget them. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, Sami stepped onto the path leading away from the School of Enchantments. With each step, the magical surroundings receded into the distance, replaced by the comforting familiarity of his own world. As he walked, he realized that while his journey through the mystical realm was coming to an end, the magic didn't have to. He could carry the lessons he'd learned, the friendships he deforged, and the sense of wonder he rediscovered right back into his everyday life. Suddenly, he found himself standing in the library, the familiar scent of old books enveloping him like a warm embrace. The magical book lay open on the floor beside him, its pages whispering secrets from worlds unknown. Sami looked down at the book in his hands and smiled. He knew that within its timeless pages lay not just stories, but portals to infinite adventures. With a newfound appreciation for the power of imagination and the boundless possibilities that lay within stories, Sami closed the book, its leather cover cool and comforting beneath his fingertips. As he rose from the floor, he felt a surge of excitement coursing through him. He was no longer the same boy who had stumbled into that dusty old library. He had journeyed to fantastical realms, faced mythical creatures, and forged friendships that transcended the boundaries of imagination. And as he stepped out of the library, back into the sunshine and laughter of his everyday life, he carried with him a piece of that magic. The world might seem ordinary to some, but to those who believe, who seek adventure, and who dare to dream, it holds infinite wonders. and with a heart full of gratitude and a spirit of adventure, Sami was ready to embrace it all.